Hello and welcome. My name is Casey and I am here with you today recording a video on cholesterol, high cholesterol, cholesterol plaquing from the perspective of iridology as well as from the perspective of natural healing. Okay, so a couple of things about cholesterol. Cholesterol is a soft, waxy substance, and it is found in every part of the body, the blood, the cells, the brain. It's found everywhere, and it's an important part of the body's health, and one of its main functions is to reduce inflammation. So that's where we're going to be going with this video, is taking a look at how inflammation is actually the major cause of high cholesterol. About 80 to 90% of cholesterol that you find in the body, depending on your diet, it could be 75% up to 90, is actually based on the cholesterol that you are producing within your own body, mainly through the liver. And as small as 10, 15, maybe up to 20% of cholesterol is from the foods we eat. So I just want to talk about how it is inflammation in the body that is actually the culprit in high cholesterol. And I also want to take a look at some irises that show different levels of cholesterol in the body. So let's get started, and we're going to start with a couple of irises. These are different eyes. Both of these eyes, I have done readings for these people, so I am a little bit familiar with their health, rather familiar with their health history. And I do want to let you know that they both do have high cholesterol, and we're not seeing the more extreme signs of high cholesterol, which we will get to in the iris in just a few minutes. So the way that you can see cholesterol building up in the body, there's a few different ways. One of the major indications is that because cholesterol is produced in order to calm inflammation, cholesterol along with calcium, along with water, are the body's three main ways of reducing acidosis and systemic inflammation in the body. So the liver will create more cholesterol, the body will actually leach calcium from the bones and connective tissues, as well the body will produce an excess of water, often resulting in edema. Those are all three signs. If you have any or more of those signs, then you are very likely looking at a highly acidic body. So let's start with this iris on the left. This is a young woman, and we can see that there are a few things going on in the iris. She has pretty strong genetics. She does have some sulfur accumulation in the stomach and bowel area. She has a few lacunas, a few separations in the iris fibers. And she also has some lymphatic stagnation and a lot of inflammation. And you can see the inflammation in the bright white iris fibers. So in here, you see a lot of inflammation in this body as well. Like I said, lymphatic stagnation is showing up in the form of lymphatic tophi, which are surrounding the periphery of the iris. And they're actually turning from a bright white into more of a dull, creamy color, going probably into like the lighter tans and browns. So, but what I want to show you in this eye are the sort of faint signs of cholesterol buildup. And this woman is in her early 20s, and I had to ask her, by any chance, have you had your cholesterol tested? And she did say that it was tested high. You don't normally expect to see that in someone in their early 20s, but this is what we're seeing in this eye as well, and we'll address this. There's a little bit of an inherited heart weakness in this eye. A lot of times the two will go hand in hand. So, in terms of cholesterol, we can see up in the top of the iris this shimmer. So it's like a shimmer. Sometimes you will see it get a little bit almost bubbly, and it's appearing over the cornea of the eye. So I should say that cholesterol rings, the Arcus Senilis that you hear of in iridology, these are not actual true signs in the iris themselves. They are actually growing over the cornea. But we do see a lot of it, so it is included in iridology studies, and it's an amazing indicator of high cholesterol when you're reading the eyes. So if you have any kind of shimmer, it usually starts at the top of the iris, like in this eye, and then in the lower part you can see just barely. Let me see if this picture will. It goes down just a little bit, so you can see in here as well there's a shimmer and sort of a gel-like substance you can see covering the bottom of the iris as well as the top of the iris, and that's usually where it starts, and once it proceeds it will go all the way around the eye. Okay, so like I said, this person has a bit, this is the flash from the camera, so you can disregard this white and this white here, but in this area in here is the heart area. So these are both left eyes, and I want to show you that quite often you're going to see cholesterol going hand in hand, high cholesterol going hand in hand with some sort of genetic predisposition to a weakness in the heart area. So this person does have that, and you can see that in this little, this is the bowel wall here, and you can see that there is somewhat of a jutting in and out and somewhat of a stricture in this area, and this is exactly right around 3 o'clock where you're going to see the heart in the left eye. Now, this person does in fact have a family history of genetic heart weakness. She mentioned, I believe, on her maternal grandmother and a few other family members. She's in her early 20s, like I said, so this is something that she is going to be able to address right away, hopefully, and really take care of her heart and take care of the high cholesterol by reducing the amount of acidic food she's eating. Okay, so let's move over here to the eye on the right. Again, this is another left eye. This person is more in her middle ages, and this person has really excellent genetic structure, very closely woven iris fibers or trabecula. Again, we're seeing a bit of an indentation or anomaly in the bowel wall right at the 3 o'clock or the heart area. So, and again, this person does have a history of heart weakness in her family. And in this eye, you can see the cholesterol building up down here, or the signs of cholesterol building up all on the bottom of the iris, so in this whole area. And especially this eye is fascinating because you can actually see little tiny bubbles. So it's kind of bubbling up in the iris, this sign of cholesterol here. And as well, we can see that at the top of the iris. So again, I did ask her right away when I was doing her reading if she had been, if she had had her blood work come back with high cholesterol? And she said, absolutely yes. She was recommended to go on cholesterol reducing medication. She's more into the natural healing, so she refused that, and she's now looking into reducing the cholesterol through her diet. So the main thing is, it's not, like I said, it's maybe 10, 15, possibly 20% only that you're receiving from your nutrition in terms of like actual cholesterol. I mean, the amount of cholesterol in food is trace. Now, when you eat saturated fats, the liver tends to produce cholesterol and tends to even overproduce cholesterol. So yes, saturated fats do contribute to high cholesterol, but it's not the cholesterol in the food that is causing the high cholesterol in the body. Your body is making the cholesterol. So you could also say that eating saturated fats are very likely going to be, you don't really see a saturated fat unless it's in the form of oil. I'm thinking more like the meats and the dairy. So when you see a fat, most often it is also high in protein. And both of those substances, meat and dairy, are extremely, they're not alkalizing foods. They're on the absolute opposite spectrum of alkalinity, and they are the most extremely acidic foods you can eat. So you could also say that when you eat acidic foods, your body is going to be producing cholesterol in order to combat the acidity that you are putting into the body through your diet. Okay, so let's take a look at a few more eyes. And you can see in both of these eyes, I mean, I can't help but point out there is a ring of a malabsorption ring, challenges with nutrient absorption in both of these eyes. Radii solaris in here, some psora spots. But aside from that, you can see a definite, and we're going sort of progressing into what cholesterol looks like in the iris. Aside from that, you have this very well-defined sort of layer coming over the cornea, and that is cholesterol. That is a sign of cholesterol in the body. You can see it in this iris in here. And yeah, I would say this would be the next stage in what cholesterol looks like in the iris, or what high cholesterol or even cholesterol plaquing looks like in the iris. Okay, so just one quick little mention. Cholesterol seems to have a bad connotation when people hear the word. It usually is connected to someone having high cholesterol, but our body actually really, really needs cholesterol. Cholesterol helps to build healthy cell membranes. So cholesterol is throughout our body. It is within all of our cell membranes. It also provides the basis or the backbone for hormones in our bodies, such as cortisol. And as you know, cortisol is a stress hormone. It's an anti-inflammatory, as well as it is a basis for progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. And then, of course, as I mentioned, cholesterol also serves to control inflammation resulting from injury or irritation to body tissues. And not only local injury, but also systemic injury, as in the case of acidosis. So truly, cholesterol is produced by the body in an attempt to fight inflammation. That's when it's overproduced, if we have too much inflammation in the body. Okay, so let's take a look at the next eyes I'm going to show you have an actual what is termed an Arcus Senilis. So fair warning, here we go. It's not something you want to see in your eye, and it's not something that you want to see in the eyes of others, but here it is. And this is the Arcus Senilis. Generally speaking, it does come with older age. According to Bernard Jensen, when you see the Arcus Senilis, it can also be not only high cholesterol, it can also be an excessive intake of salt or bicarbonate of soda, drugs such as sodium salicylates, calcium out of solution, and yes, absolutely high cholesterol or triglycerides in the blood. According to Jensen, what he saw with his many clients over his lifetime of study in iridology is that it may be associated with the hardening of the arteries, calcium spurs, joint trouble, and so on. There's always going to be, when you see this level of cholesterol in the body, a risk of arteriosclerosis and cardiovascular problems. He also found that Alzheimer's is associated with this cholesterol/sodium ring in the iris, and that ring is known as Arcus Senilis. So this would be the most prominent pictures that I can find. I have read a few eyes that do have almost this level of cholesterol, but not quite. So especially this eye here on the right is just, I mean, it is just thick. So how do we heal this? We heal it the same way that we heal, from my own perspective, everything in the body, which is to reduce acidosis and inflammation by living an alkaline lifestyle. And that would mean that you're eating at least 80% alkaline foods. And alkaline foods are your fruits and vegetables. For the most part, you can check out my website or anywhere on the internet, and there are charts of alkaline and acid foods and the different variations. So But to be quite simple, the extremely most alkaline foods are your leafy greens and your vegetables, and then your fruits. There are a few fruits, I think blueberries, cranberries, that are just slightly acidic, but compared to something like meat or dairy or fried food, they're absolutely much more healthy, much more alkaline than that. So you are living an alkaline lifestyle with your diet, with your thoughts, with your emotions. And what will happen is, and you're starting to work on your kidneys and getting your kidneys to filtrate the acids out of your body. So all of this acidosis in the body needs to be removed through the lymphatic system, as well the kidneys and the other channels of elimination, in order to reverse this high cholesterol and even this Arcus Senilis. It absolutely can be done, but it needs to be done in that way from my perspective. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I am going to post a long quote by Dr. Morse about high cholesterol. I think it's just a lovely read, in my opinion. So yeah, feel free to contact me, and I do offer iridology readings and as well other services. So Until next time. Okay, bye.